After more than 50 years, humanity is on the brink of returning to the moon. This time, with the innovative partnership of NASA and SpaceX, the mission extends beyond planting flags and leaving footprints. The goal is far more ambitious: to establish a permanent base on the lunar surface. What makes this mission even more remarkable?
Finally made it. Seen that as kids.
Welcome to the News World Outlet. It is I, the leader of the Outliers, King John B. You, the latest and greatest in talk, news, and entertainment. Gangsta Williams, aka OG Giggity, aka Terrence Civilian Williams, is sending a strong warning to a street legend to
AKA Mr.
self-correct
Civilian.
to keep up with the times. Gangsta was on his platform speaking about the recent back and forth between rap mogul 50 Cent and BMF legend Big Meech. While Gangsta understands some of the thought process with Meech trying to get a bag with 50 Cent's op Rick Ross, he should realize the world is a lot different than the one he lived in before he was sent off to prison. Let's listen in as William says times have changed, and in today's world, there's no switching sides when trying to get to that bag.
Big Meech, I understand, back in the day, you did your thing for your milk, you made it rain, and I'm thinking Big Meech might feel like, well, when I was doing my thing, getting money, making it rain, 50 U's on the come. Big Meech may have looked at it like, I'm Big Dog, I'm Big Meech. I'm pretty sure that Big Meech knew that 50 was bad, and 50 went over and Terry for it, and he pulled him, and his brother did it. So Meech see this, so Meech might still felt like, okay, the BMS series out, we got our money up. I don't really care. I don't like to deal with my brother, so I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna do what I want to do.
I sure hope that is not the case, because that is not a smart business move at all. Alright, let's
He
get back
should
to
have
it.
talked to 50 first before he did any kind of move like that.
Whatever 50 and Ross,
Out of respect, he should have cool. Hey,
I'm
50.
gonna respect and be cool with both of y'all.
That's what I'm thinking about doing. Whoopie whoop.
Time has changed.
Whoop whoop.
It's not the same how back in the day we was out.
Is it a conflict with what you got going on?
Really cool with that one, but they stay out
What's up,
Tuxedo? Things have changed. They want you to pick a side.
Man, now this Gangsta hit the nail on the head with this one. Maybe back in the day it would have been okay to switch from one side of the fence to the other when going after that bread. But in the world we live in today, anything done with the ops is seen as a sign of pure disrespect and disloyalty. Outliers, do y'all side with Williams, or was Meech right for getting the bag wherever he can? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons for it is I, King John B. signing off. And I'm out. You know what it is, man.
John B. Bring it on here.
What if I told you that there was an NBA player who physically couldn't seem to throw a normal pass? From stunning no-looks to his iconic, impossible to replicate elbow pass, Jason Williams was truly one of the greatest passers in NBA history, and his highlights are honestly some of the best on YouTube. But how did he develop this unique skill that allowed him to lead his squad to win the 2006 NBA championship? And why did he deliberately choose to make passes way more difficult than they had to be? Well, to find out, we have to go back to 1994. DuPont High School, led by their star point guard Jason Williams and forward Randy Moss, are set to face Martinsburg in the AAA National High School Championship game. But how is it that the only high school in Bell, West Virginia, a town that holds just over 1,000 people, is competing for a national title? Well, Jason, whose family lived in a trailer on DuPont's campus, thanks to the fact that his state trooper father, Terry, held a key to his school's gymnasium, has developed into one of the nation's top guards. The hours he spent alone working on his game.
You know, it was nice. I went in there 3 or 4 hours just going in, dribbling, doing ball handling drills. Never really even shoot the ball for 3 or 4 hours. I've been there all by myself.
And his unique ability to use his imagination.
I'm in the gym like by myself, bro, like beating presses, gunning across half court, picking the ball up. Now I'm getting trapped. I'm trying all kind of crazy pivots and shit like that just because I know I'm gonna get stuck in the game one time and I might need that crazy pivot.
Combined with his connection to running mate Moss, an alliance formed both on the hardwood and the field has guided DuPont to be just 32 minutes away from being crowned as national champions. As this must-win game progressed, the chemistry between Jason and Randy was clear. Not only was Williams throwing insane behind-the-back dimes, as well as quarterbacking full-court passes, but he was also pouring in bucket after bucket. The teenager's elite ability to score is often the reason his teammates were wide open. However, in spite of a 26-point effort by their star, DuPont would ultimately head home empty-handed, and this was just the start of Jason's issues. Because the college coach who had recruited him to Providence, Rick Barnes, had accepted a new role at Clemson, and incoming leader Pete Gillen not only bought his basketball IQ, but another guard, Shamgar Wells. Williams, realizing that his freshman campaign would likely be spent riding the bench, wriggled his way out of his commitment and was forced to attend Fork Union Military Academy. Yet a certain assistant coach who begged his superior to sign the Bell native had just accepted a head coaching role at Marshall. Billy Donovan, who unlike most collegiate coaches, didn't see red flags whilst watching Jason dominate. No, he saw a basketball genius, one that was going to lead Marshall to new heights. But could a quick, showboaty point guard really succeed in the much slower collegiate game? However, before he could answer this question, Jay Will was forced to sit out the full 1994-1995 season due to NCAA rules. Yet, this time only presented the now 19-year-old with more opportunities to work on his game. Jason would train closely with Coach Donovan, who would have his point guard perform ball handling and passing drills whilst wearing weights on his wrists. Thanks to this year of work, Williams would lead his Marshall side to an improved 17-11 record during their 1995-1996 campaign. But this success would ultimately lead to his downfall, because Florida, another Division I college, noticing the talents of the rising Billy Donovan, recruited him to lead their program, devastating Jason.
So when I was leaving, he was waiting outside for me, and he grabbed me and says, "I want to come with you." And I said, "Jason, you're from West Virginia, you're here to stay here." He says, "No, but I want to come with you."
Williams, understanding that once again he would be forced to sit out yet another season, follow the coach who believed in his abilities to Florida. However, was this a smart decision? Because Jay Will hated school. Regularly, the now 21-year-old was late or just straight up refused to attend class. Therefore, Coach Donovan would punish his point guard.
I said, "Jason, listen, every time you miss a tutor, you miss a class, you're late for something, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. So, sure enough, first day I get a phone call, missed his tutor. 6 o'clock in the morning, it's up running. Next day, it was late for class. 6 o'clock. After about 5 days of this, he comes in and says, Coach, how about we just do this? How about I just get up every morning at 6 and run and never go to class?
Jason's reasoning for this was simple, as he believed the early wake-up gave him an advantage over his teammates, and during the 1997-1998 season, this extra work was paying off. The now Florida Gator was averaging 17.1 points, 6.7 assists, and 2.7 steals per game, and his inability to throw normal passes was only drawing more and more eyes from NBA teams. However, 17 games into his junior year, Jason's life would take a dark turn, as for the second time, Williams had been caught smoking, as Billy Donovan called them, left-handed cigarettes, resulting in his expulsion from the Florida program. While most would be left devastated, the West Virginia native had a different perspective.
I explain my troubles with people. I kind of tell them it's like a baseball player. You know, when he sets up to the plate, you got 3 strikes. And I feel as if I've already had 2, and if I swing and miss again, then my career's through, and I don't know what I'll do then.
And luckily for the star point guard, a certain someone would change his life forever. Nick Anderson, a forward for the Orlando Magic, had been sitting in the stands on December 17th, 1997, watching as Florida State narrowly escaped with a victory against the Gators. Nick, not knowing much about the collegiate game, was stunned as he watched number 55's raw ability to dominate a game with not only his scoring, but his unique ability to rack up assists. Shocked at what he had just witnessed, Anderson urged his agent to sign the young guard. Once Jason understood that the NBA was his only path forward, he would accept the gracious offer from the Orlando forward and sign with Nick's agent, who would then get him access to the Magic's off-season workouts. While scouts had seen what Williams was capable of on a college court, these pre-draft workouts against legit NBA athletes allowed teams to understand just how talented the Bell native was, and Jason quickly became one of the league's best kept secrets. Teams like the Sacramento Kings, who had made their interest in high school phenom Kobe Bryant too public, only to then be leapfrogged by the Lakers in the draft, told the media they had no interest in selecting the ex-Gator. But on June 24th, 1998, this happened.
With the 7th pick in the 1998 NBA draft, the Sacramento Kings select Jason Williams from the University of Florida.
But doubters still remained. Could a player who purposely chooses to throw crazy passes really lead an NBA franchise? Or was he just picked as a sideshow? Well, Rick Adelman, the head coach of the Sacramento Kings, would tell his new point guard something very interesting before their first game.
He told me before we came out of for the game, he said, if you come down and throw a behind the back pass and it goes out of bounds, he said, don't worry about it. Next time, try it with your left hand.
Without another point guard to take his spot, and inspired by the trust given to him by his coach, Williams would score 21 points, throw 3 assists, and grab 5 steals in his debut NBA experience. Shocking not only Kings fans, but their organization. They had finally found their point guard of the future. As the 1998-1999 season progressed, Jay Will was continuing to shock everyone with his inability to throw a normal pass. Almost every single dime was done in a spectacular way, and Williams' basketball philosophy was helping his Kings to reach new heights.
Not for everybody, I'd rather have 15 assists than 60 points a game, though. As long as we have block first and happy, that's all we have.
And while it did take his teammates some time to get used to playing with someone so eager to pass them the ball,
sometimes it looks like a magic, The other night, he made pass to me, I really didn't see a ball. The ball just hit me in the hands.
I'll ask him, how could I do that? And he didn't play with magic before. He don't have an answer for me. Yeah, but some people tell a different angle. Yeah, but that's magic.
Everyone eventually became accustomed to Jason's unselfish style of play, including Chris Webber, an NBA All-Star level forward who the Kings had traded for over the offseason. Not only did Williams and Webber share a strong desire for success, but they also found common ground with their off-court antics, as Webber had also faced trouble for his left-handed cigarette usage. And while most thought this was the reason Chris and Jason grew close, in truth, it was something else.
I spare time, I really like to do the same things. And it's really not just stay at home and, stay away from a lot of people and a lot of things.
The pair, different to most NBA athletes, preferred staying home with their wives and were often the first to arrive and the last to leave practices, a work ethic which would allow J. Will to dominate in another area on the court. Williams' speed, coupled with the ball handling skills he developed in the DuPont High School gymnasium, made him almost unguardable, a point that the Kings rookie proved by absolutely crossing out one of the NBA's premier defenders, Gary the Glove Payton, a move that skyrocketed the 7th pick into stardom. Yet, it wasn't just his play propelling him into fame, because a Sacramento Kings marketing agent had suggested to their rising rookie that they dub him White Chocolate, a nickname J. Will took an immediate liking to. White Chocolate would round out his first year in the league, averaging 12.8 points, 6 assists, and 1.9 steals per game, resulting in Jason finishing just short of the Rookie of the Year award. But his Kings were finally back in the postseason as the 7th seed. However, their first-round opponent was none other than the 1997 and 1998 Western Conference champions, the Utah Jazz, a team that decimated the young Kings by an astonishing 30 points in their initial matchup, a performance which left everyone, excluding those within Sacramento's organization, believing that the series was already over. Or was it? May 10th, 1999, Jason Williams would take the exact advice his head coach had given him a few months ago, throwing this mind-boggling behind-the-back dime, as well as hitting multiple incredibly difficult fading threes. J. Will's tricky moves resulted in the rookie guard scoring 18 points, throwing 3 assists, and grabbing 2 steals in their Game 2 victory. But this wasn't all, because in their following battle with Utah, fueled by their deafening home crowd, Williams would birth what would be young career, a no-look bullet to Corliss Williamson for the easy wide-open layup. Stunned by just how well this Utah was playing, Utah would ultimately lose Game 3 overtime, resulting in Sacramento being away from moving on to the next round. The veteran Jazz, a team who went toe-to-toe with Michael Jordan's legendary Chicago teams, the Detroit Raptors, the point guard who had steered the Utah ship to reach the finals, John Stockton, would highlight a flaw in Williams' game. Stockton forced J. Will into 2.6 turnovers per match, a blemish in Jason's game that resulted in John's Jazz fighting their way back, winning the final 2 matchups and sending Sacramento packing. White Chocolate was devastated, vowing to solve his weakness and lead the Kings to new heights, because if he couldn't, Sacramento would likely be sending the 1998 pick somewhere else. February 12, 2000, Jason Williams was set to appear in his first All-Star Weekend event, representing the second-year athletes in the rookie versus sophomore game.
Saying that Jason Williams, your Sacramento teammate Chris Hunter says if you think he is exciting his game, you should come to our practices. This is a wide-open affair. What can we expect to see today?
I don't know, you just got these guys over there, don't go to concession stands till halftime.
Jason would then truly shock not just the fans in the arena, but basketball players across the whole world with something no one had seen before. Williams had thrown a behind-the-back pass off his elbow, a tricky move that I know for a fact we've all tried at least once, including me in a pickup game, which, by the way, if you were subscribed to Out of Bounds, it would have worked, you would. And it was this play the X-Skater made which began to draw comparisons to other NBA legends.
People like Larry Bird have said that you were one of the best passes he's ever seen, even compared to Pete Maravich. How does that feel?
It feels good to be compared to such a great player like Pete and
As the remainder of the 1999-2000 season continued, Jason's rookie form only grew stronger. Not only did he record 18 nights with at least 10 assists, but against the Cleveland Cavaliers, the West Virginia native would throw a huge 18 dimes to his Kings teammates. Thanks to the flash and flair of white chocolate, Sacramento was once again set to enter their second straight playoffs. However, awaiting them was the rising Los Angeles Lakers, a team who had just added six-time NBA champion head coach Phil Jackson. Thanks to LA's 67-win regular season, no one had picked the Kings to even win a single game. Yet, Sacramento had other plans, because on May 5th, 2000, Sacramento, after miraculously coming back from being down 2-0, have found themselves in the exact same situation as their previous campaign. But would they be able to go one further this time? Well, Shaquille O'Neal, the 7'1", 300-pound Lakers regular season MVP, would go out and not only score 38 points, but also pulled down 18 rebounds. Shaq's insane individual play, a performance that no one, not even White Chocolate, could match, would result in the Kings once again being sent home, just a single win away from moving on. Williams would sit in his locker and reflect, understanding that in order for his team to succeed, he would have to develop not only his insane skill, but also his basketball IQ. Therefore, White Chocolate would lock himself away in the Sacramento Kings film room, dissecting every single mistake from his rookie and sophomore seasons, trying to understand how he could better lead his Kings to their one true goal, an NBA championship. February 22nd, 2001, Sacramento is visiting the Golden State Warriors in a regular season matchup, and it was on this night where J. Will would highlight all the work he had poured in during the offseason. Not only did Williams end the game with double-digit assists, but the now 25-year-old would only have 2 turnovers, a trend that continued throughout the remainder of the 2000-2001 season. Jason had dramatically decreased how many times his passes failed, from 3.7 per game to just 2.1, spearheading an explosive Kings offense that consisted of elite outside shooting from Peja Stojakovic and Doug Christie, as well as a dominant interior presence from Chris Webber and Vlade Divac. But it wasn't just on the court where White Chocolate was dominating, as his jersey had once again skyrocketed to not just the top 5, but becoming the #1 selling jersey in the whole league.
Your number 55 is the hottest selling jersey in the NBA. Is that surprising to you?
It is really surprising because it's always been my dream just to play in the league. But, I give credit to my teammates and especially my man here. Without him, I don't think I'd be here sitting here today.
Yet, as the Kings season ended with a much improved 55 wins, could they actually make it all the way to the NBA Finals? May 2nd, 2001, Sacramento has again found themselves in the exact same situation since Jason arrived in the NBA, but this time, things were different. Williams knew that it wasn't his flashy play that would carry his Kings. No, it was his pure skill. J. Will had learned to perfectly pass the ball how all of his teammates liked it. Dimes that would allow their Serbian sniper to score an incredible 37 points. White Chocolate's passing and Peja's shooting would lead Sacramento to break free of their first-round curse, one step closer to their championship dreams. However, Sacramento was set to face the now defending NBA champion, the Los Angeles Lakers. LA, seasoned from their title run, would expertly mount down White Chocolate, forcing him into a horrible 3.3 turnovers per game, essentially turning number 55 into an unplayable point guard. Shaq, alongside running mate Kobe Bryant, would then decimate their cross-state rival in an embarrassing 4 games, sweeping Sacramento from their championship hopes. Yet, the suffering wasn't over for Williams, because as the Kings management reviewed their roster in preparation for the 2001-2002 season, one thing became clear. They really only had one hole in their lineup: point guard. Therefore, in a shocking move to fans, Jason Williams was traded to the newly relocated Memphis Grizzlies in exchange for the #2 pick of the 1998 NBA draft, Mike Bibby. While most would be upset and hold some resentment towards their team for trading them, Jay Will didn't.
It sucked at first, because I didn't really want to leave Sacramento, but shout out to Billy and the Kings. They got better when they got rid of me as a team, but in my eyes, what I know about basketball, that team was better when they got rid of me. They had a better chance of beating the Lakers.
Williams tried to see the positives in being moved to a new franchise, and on the 30th of November 2001, Jason, wearing the brand new number 2, would showcase his true potential, as in a game against the Houston Rockets, it wasn't Jay Will's mind-boggling passing that was on display. No, it was something else. The now ex-King would pour in jumper after jumper, as well as sneaking in crafty layups en route to scoring a brand new career high, 38 points. Yet it was the assist column which made Williams' career night even more impressive, because not only did he nearly drop 40, but Jason would also throw 11 assists, showing just how important he was for Memphis. However, White Chocolate's individual performances were just about the only positive for the Grizzlies, as, in Jason's words,
"We're the worst team in the league to me. I said it all for worse, we're worse."
Memphis ended Jay Will's initial season with the franchise having only won 23 games. Something had to change, and quick. November 11, 2002. The Grizzlies have just lost their 8th game in a row to begin their 2002-2003 campaign. Brand new team president, 8-time NBA champion Jerry West, another West Virginia native, realized that head coach Sidney Lowe was no longer the man for the job, and then decided to make a move which shocked everyone across the league, hiring a coach who last held the reins 16 seasons ago, Hubie Brown. While many were stunned by West's decision, Hubie brought something the young Grizzly squad was missing, because Coach Brown, despite being 69 years old, brought a fiery passion, often screaming at players when they made mistakes, a trait which Williams loved. Jason enjoyed that their new coach actually held not only himself, but their whole squad accountable. Memphis, thanks to another Hubie idea, breaking the season into 6-game chunks, with each section having specific goals, such as win 3 or improve our defense, the Grizzlies began to develop. But Brown wasn't done, as he would veto any requests management had for the players to spend hours signing jerseys, doing meet and greets, or anything that Hubie deemed to be a distraction, further winning the respect from his athletes. Whilst Memphis still had a poor record, only winning 28, the 2002-2003 season made it clear that the young Grizzly squad was destined for greatness, and Jerry West wasn't done making moves. James Posey, a shooting forward, was brought in over the offseason, a great pairing with the mid-season trade President West had made for the 2001 Rookie of the Year, Mike Miller. Jay Will now not only had a solid big man in Pau Gasol down low, but 2 snipers he could dime the ball to on the wings. Players that Williams would highlight his biggest transformation with. As the 2003-2004 season pressed on, Jay Will would continue to be White Chocolate, whilst also showcasing just how much he had grown.
But he literally told me, he said, "Man, you come off that screen, I bounce pass it, just drop. If I chest pass, you just shoot it." I'm thinking to myself, how do you see that? He's like, I'm like, you know how many things you gotta look at to see if I'm gonna be driving this one, if I'm gonna be shooting this one? But I said, all right, I'm gonna trust it. Bounce pass it, leg, chest pass it. I'm like, this is bananas.
Jason Williams was now able to manipulate the offense literally just with his passing, allowing Memphis, for the first time in the franchise's history, to hold a positive win-loss record, a feat achieved after just 17 nights. Not only had they set a new standard, the Grizzlies would win 8 games in a row and round out their season having won 13 of their final 15 matchups. And they weren't done yet, because Hubie Brown was named as the NBA Coach of the Year, the second time the veteran leader had been awarded this honor, with his last coming 26 years ago in 1978. Not only was their mentor named as the top coach in the league, but Memphis, thanks to the guidance of their point guard, had won an incredible 50 games, allowing the franchise to reach the postseason for the first time. However, their first opponent in the playoffs was the defending 2003 NBA champions, the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs, led by their dynamic trio of Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, and Tim Duncan, would dismantle the youthful Grizzlies game, dissecting their defense and slowing their offense to a halt. It took San Antonio a mere 4 games to send the rising Grizzlies home empty-handed, but Memphis was ecstatic. Not only had they finally entered the postseason, but they had built a team destined for success, or